when we were doing carpooling together. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for Pt.2. I thank you so much. You old salty guy that ran the poker game in the squad day, and I had to sleep with a towel across my face in order to get some sleep. Appreciate you, Bill. You set a wonderful example for me. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for allowing me to live in a land, the United States of America, where I can be free of fear. God, please continue to bless America. Amen.
I'd like to read something about the regular old flag. I walked through the courthouse square on the park bench. Old man was sitting there. I said, "Old man, the courthouse kind of run down." He said, "No, it's done fine for our little town." I see your flagpole is leaning a little bit. That's a ragged old flag. You got to hang on it. He said, "Have a seat," and I sat down. And this particular time, we've been in this our little town. I said, "Thank you." I said, "I think it is." He said, "I don't like to brag. We're kind of proud of that old rugged old flag. You see, we got a little hole in that flag, get better, and Washington took it across the Delaware. And it's got fire burns to Knight Francis Scott Key, saying, what you get right, or say, can you see? And it got a bad rip in New Orleans. Back was in Jackson, took it scenes. And almost fell at the elbow beside the Texas flag, but she went on through. She got cut up with a sword at Chattanooga. She got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Boulder and Bag Bragg, and South and Blue, part of that old rugged flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole on a Beretta gun. She turned blind red in World War II, shot limp and low in time or two. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She was where she was sent by her upper slam. She waved from her ship upon the Burberry pole, and I moved out to the quick, waving her back here at home. In her own good land, she'd been abused, burned, dishonored, denied, and refused. And the government for which she stands is scandalous throughout all the land. And the gilt threads burned, she's wearing thin, but she's in good shape for the shape she's in. Because she's been through the fire before, and I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning. We don't let her touch the ground. And we fold her up right. On second thought, I don't like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that old rugged flag.
I'm proud to announce that today we have the most veterans in attendance that we've ever had in a ceremony. 45 veterans. How about a hand? Each one of the veterans you see in front of you, when they entered military service, they signed a blank check to the United States of America, payable up to and including including their lives. This next group of individuals I'd like to have stand up are the Purple Heart recipients. Anybody who has a Purple Heart, please stand up. These individuals not only wrote a blank check payable up to their lives, but they were in combat. And they were wounded in combat. And if it wasn't for the grace of God, they could have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. So how about one more hand for the Purple Heart? If you served in Iraq or Afghanistan, please stand up. Anybody in Iraq or Afghanistan? Veterans, if you served during the Cold War when the Soviet Union was our biggest threat, please stand. Anybody from the Cold War? This next group of veterans went to a very difficult war, fought hard, and when they came home to not a hero's welcome. Would the Vietnam veterans please stand up? This next group of veterans had a very cold and hard fight. Would the Korean War veterans please stand up? Anybody from the Korean War? Before I do the last introduction, I want to tell you that after last year's ceremony, I told my classes, I'm afraid we have one World War II veteran that may not make it to today's service. And indeed, he didn't. Master Sergeant Arnold Literal from World War II passed away this past Saturday. His service was on Tuesday. I was proud to be a member of that service, and I took 6 of my sharpest cadets to be pallbearers down at the esteemed funeral home. Arnold, 8 years ago, stood up here at the podium and was our guest speaker. At the end of his speaking, we escorted him to the center of the court, and we presented his second Bronze Star 60 years after he earned it in World War II. One of the proudest moments of my life wearing a military uniform. During Arnold's internment out of the Veterans Cemetery, the 201st Engineering Battalion showed up to be pallbearers and riflemen. At first they said they weren't going to, because they were deployed all the way to the other end of the state at Paducah. On their own dime, they came all the way across the state to not only escort Arnold to the final resting place, but to fire a rifle salute, to fold his flag, to present it to his widow, and to play taps. Mrs. Literal is sitting here to my left, and the seat next to her has what we call a chrome dome on it. As long as I'm here at Russell, that seat will be reserved for Arnold. He was a great individual. The families at funerals don't always look around and see what's going on because they're saying goodbye. Goodbye to a loved one. But I know that it means a lot to them when they have a rifle salute. So I went over after the 201st Engineering Engineering Battalion, did their rifle salute, and everyone was dismissed to go to their vehicles. And I collected 3 spent casings to give to Mrs. Literal for her and her family. So at this time, I'd like to present Nancy with 3 spent casings.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to say thank you to the young people in this room for the honor and the respect which you bestowed on my husband. He loved you. You know, Arnold loved his country, and he honored his flag, and he worshiped his God. And he said that our country depends on young people of your age. And he said, if all the young people in the whole United States was as good as the people in Russell, that we would be just fine. So God bless every one of you.
The last group of veterans that I'd like to introduce, Tom Brokaw, called America's Greatest Generation. Emperor Hirohito and Hitler were bent on world domination. And if it wasn't for these individuals about to stand, I could be speaking German or Japanese to you right now. So at this time, I would invite all World War II veterans to please stand. I was just informed that last Saturday, several of them went on the flight to Washington to the World War II Memorial. Detail, take your positions. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. John Lynn, teacher here at Russell, and one of the most patriotic individuals that I know, to read I Am the Flag.
Detail, forward, march.
I am the flag of the United States of America. I was born on June 14, 1777 in Philadelphia. There, the Continental Congress adopted my stars and stripes as the national flag. My 13 stripes, alternating red and white, with a union of 13 white stars in a field of blue, represented a new constellation a new nation dedicated to the personal and religious liberty of mankind. Today, 50 stars signal from my union, one for each of the 50 sovereign states in the great constitutional republic the world has ever known. My colors symbolize the patriotic ideals and spiritual qualities of the citizens of my country. My red stripes proclaim the fearless courage and integrity of American men and boys and the self-sacrifice and devotion of American mothers and daughters. My white stripes stand for liberty and equality for all. My blue is the blue of heaven, loyalty, and faith. I represent these eternal principles: liberty, justice, and humanity. I embody American freedom. Freedom of speech, religion, assembly, the press, and the sanctity of the home. I typify that indomitable spirit of determination brought to my land by Christopher Columbus and by all my forefathers, the Pilgrims, Puritans, settlers at Jamestown and Plymouth. I am as old as my nation. I am a living symbol of my nation's law, the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights. I voice Abraham Lincoln's philosophy: a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. I stand guard over my nation's schools, the seedbed of good citizenship and true patriotism. I am displayed in every schoolroom throughout my nation. Every school has a flagpole for my display. Daily, thousands upon thousands of boys and girls pledge their allegiance to me and my country. I have my own law, Public Law 829, the Flag Code, which definitely states my correct use and display for all occasions and situations. I have my special day, Flag Day. June 14th is set aside to honor my birth. Americans, I am the sacred emblem of your country. I symbolize your birthright, your heritage of liberty purchased with blood and sorrow. I am your title deed of freedom, which is yours to enjoy and hold in trust for posterity. If you fail to keep this sacred trust inviolate, then I am nullified and destroyed. You and your children will become slaves to dictators and despots. Eternal vigilance is your price of freedom. As you see me silhouetted against the peaceful skies of my country, remind yourself that I am the flag of your country, that I stand for what you are, no more, no less. Guard me well, lest your freedom perish from this earth. Dedicate your lives to those principles for which I stand. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I was created in freedom. I made my first appearance in a battle for human liberty. God grant that I may spend eternity in my land of the free and home of the brave, and that I shall ever be known as Old Glory, the flag of the United States of America. Please stand for the playing of Taps by Trevor Keaton as we remember our fallen veterans who paid the supreme price.
You may be seated. Just a couple of thank yous and we're done. Colonel Houston, thank you for those patriotic words you shared with us today. It was very nice. I told the high school this morning, but I'm going to tell all of you right now. I'm very proud of the Russell High School and middle school students. During the folding of the flag, you could have heard a pin drop. Every service that we have like this, the veterans come up to me and tell me how very much they appreciate your courtesy and your respect. So veterans, if you wouldn't mind, how about giving our kids a hand? At this time, this concludes the service. I'm going to turn it over to Principal Moore and Principal Chapin to be dismissed. Veterans, thank you very much. One more hand, a round of applause.
At this time, we're going to ask that our guests from the middle school, here on the lower